Hi everyone, hope you're doing well from wherever you're watching this channel, depending on the time zone. Now, doctors have been on strike for the past 56 days. This one is a complete 2 months away from job. It has been a boycott. If you get to any hospital, the public hospitals, you could not get any service. That is what we have gone through as Kenyans in this country. And as all this was happening, the government was giving it a blind eye. They were not sorting out the issue. They made all dramas, including threat and intimidation. But doctors were not buying into any intimidation. They were clear on what they were pushing for. You know, the issue of health cover, comprehensive medical cover to the doctors under the union, KMPDU. No, the issue of postgraduate study and payment of registrar fees arrears. So there were so many issues in terms of paying the interns what they deserve, what the government was standing for. So many issues. But it has reached a time yesterday when KMPDU signed a return to work formula with the government, whereby they are now even giving a time stamp on when these issues will be implemented. And for doctors, this time around, they mean business. What all they have signed for should be implemented within this year. In fact, most of these issues should be sorted out within 90 days. Like the issue of settlement for the outstanding fees on all these issues, it should happen not later than 1st July 2024. Mambo ya medical cover, 1st July 2024. Those are the agreement and many other issues if you go through the entire document. But beside this, the Senate was discussing on the issue of doctor strike. And if you look on the manner in which this debate has been going on in the Senate, you find out that those who are on the majority side, the government side, especially those who are elected in Kenya Kwanza, they have been supporting the government even when the government is getting it wrong. People like Cherargei and the rest, who believe that doctors are getting more money, and their view is that they should even be fired and employ other people to replace them. That is their thinking. Referring to interns as students who really are in front line of duty most of the time, on call, and it is 24 hours duty. That is it for them. So, Bony Khalwale made a decision that I will not betray my fellow colleagues, doctors. So I rather stand with them and say the truth, despite the fact that he's the one who need to whip the members of parliament in support of most of the things that is favoring the government. But Bony Khalwale has refused to go in that direction. And there is something is revealing here, that some people have degrees courtesy because of the Gumbaru education that was introduced in this country. Now they have been allowed to do a degree through Gumbaru education after you finish that. And Cherargei, according to Bony Khalwale, is a beneficiary of that. That if it was not for Gumbaru, Cherargei will not be a lawyer, he will not hold any degree. But he should respect doctors who scored clean S in all subjects to become whom they are, because that is one of the requirements for you to become a doctor.
Senator Cherargei, where were you in your primary school when your classmate beat you and qualified with better grades to become a doctor and you couldn't? Mr. Speaker, I request the Senator of Nandi to be apologetic. In fact, it's a privilege to him that we have introduced a system of adult education, Gumbaru, in degrees. Otherwise, traditionally, he should not appear in court at all, because it's only Gumbaru that has allowed him to become a lawyer. He should be told the people he's berating are the same ones who got an A in maths, an A in physics, an A in chemistry, an A in everything when he was struggling with C minus, C, those kind of things. We must pay doctors. What is the big deal? And
what's your point of order?
Now, give it to Bony Khalwale. Being the majority whip, you might not expect him to speak the way he spoke in the Senate as far as the issue of doctors is concerned. Khalwale is one man who is coming out very bold and face the government with the truth. If you are looking for people who can advise this government, then on my list, I am convinced Bony Khalwale can be one of these people, one of the good brain, despite the fact that he's driving a government car with a flag and he has an office for that matter. This one man who tells the truth. And you see, still on the agenda of the doctors, Khalwale believes and is convinced that the minority side, which is now the opposition, are pushing for the right agenda, while the majority side, who believe they are the government, they are pushing for the wrong agenda when it comes to the issue of doctors. So for him, he is whipping the majority to support what the minority are standing for, because it means good for doctors and for Kenyans at large. That is the majority whip in the Senate, Bony Khalwale.
Mr. Speaker, I don't know. I'm very disturbed when I hear a lot of voices on the minority side pushing the correct agenda, and the majority on the majority side defending the wrong agenda. I wonder, who told members of parliament that you are elected to come to parliament so as to support the government, even when in its policy, the government is wrong? Who told you? It is our responsibility on the majority side, on the minority side, to critically critique government policy so that we make it better. Mr. Speaker, if we do not correct the problem of these doctors, do you know it can go on for the whole year? For your information, colleagues, your child who tonight will have an asthmatic attack, God forbid, is not going to be treated by anybody else other than the medical interns at the private hospitals, because we senior doctors do not go on call. The younger doctors, the ones you're calling unqualified people, they are the ones who are on the first line. They are on call throughout the night, so they moonlight. They go for locum in private practice so as to make up.
Now, we are continuing this panel discussion, but just a quick request for those who are watching, and you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. To our returning subscribers, I must say thank you so much. And again, to all our viewers, please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much, and back to this discussion. By the way, for you to become a doctor or a lawyer, it is not easy, by the way. There are requirements that you need to meet in terms of your performance in high school for you to qualify for this. And besides this, even when you go for this training, at some time, some people normally drop on the way. Because we know even in school, there are shortcuts people are using They are buying exams. You find out your grades qualify you to join a medical class. But because these were not your own grades, after even joining the medical class, you drop on the way and join other things. Even those who go for law. Same issue. So those who have qualified and finished their studies should be respected for that. But beside this, we have even those who manage to go through the class, but they don't, pass the exam. Instead, they pay for those who mark this exam to give them favorable marks so that they can finish their studies. Is Bony Khalwale telling us that Cherargei might be a beneficiary of such? Besides this, he's telling us that Cherargei is a beneficiary of Gumbaru. That he never went for proper studies from primary to high school and university. But look at the thinking of Cherargei, the behavior of Cherargei. It confirms that what Bony Khalwale is saying might be true, and if not true, then these are some of the people who really were cheating an exam. When they get to exam room, all the qualifications they got, I am convinced that if it's not that Gumbaru issue, then he was buying exams or cheating in an exam for him to reach where he is as of now. Because just tell me one thing. Have you ever heard Cherargei or seen him anywhere in court defending anyone or acting in his capacity as a lawyer for anyone? Personally, I have never seen Cherargei appearing in court on behalf of anyone to argue on any case. How comes he has never done this, but he comes out to boost as a lawyer? Which lawyer is this? Because majority of lawyers that we see around, after they have finished their school, you will see them at least practicing this. Even those who are the members of parliament, Akina Orengo and the rest, you would see them running their farms and they will appear in court, not just running a farm and having lawyers, in court, because you can afford to have a farm. You see them in court. Lakini watu kama Samson Cherargei, sijawahi muona mahali popote kotini. So, is Khalwale right? Men are going to believe so. You talk about someone like Kipchumba Murkomen. At least Kipchumba Murkomen, I have seen him say that despite making too much noise in the Senate, at least I have seen him appearing in court. At least pia amekuwa mwalimu. So, despite the fact that he has always been busy, hata kule kwa Senate, sometime you will see him in court. Saa zingine anashinda kesi, saa zingine hashindi. Those are lawyers. Huyu Cherargei na watu kama, sijui kwa mfano hata huyu mtu wa agriculture huyu, unasema ni lawyer ama ni nani? Mythically Nturi. Umewahi muona kotini akisimamia mtu yoyote? Majabu. Such people. So, definitely, this man has never stepped anywhere into legal practice as a lawyer. But he comes out as part of the lawyers in this country. So you find Bony Khalwale might be right in his rebuke to Cherargei, because it seems Cherargei has no better knowledge and any capacity to question doctors, because he's not one of them. He has never been in class fully in studies to achieve his own grades. Hayo kando. Tukuje kwa mambo ya those who believe that they are a part of government, the majority side. It is very shameful and so bitter, very painful, for you to elect a member of parliament or a senator to get to the Senate, then when they reach there, they forget that They were elected to represent you, your views, your thinking, your position in the parliament. Instead, they go there and forget all about that. Then they become puppet of the executive. Because we are talking about doctors. Hospital in your village was closed, if you have one. For me, I have been to is it Vihiga Referral Hospital, in Mbale, 3 times. What was going on there is renovation. The government decided that because doctors are not on duty and no services taking place here, no operations here, let me go on with the renovation progress. That is what the Vihiga governor was doing. If you go there, no service. Then your senator somewhere is opposing what the doctors are asking for, and if you take on what doctors are asking for, it is genuine. So whom is this senator representing? Is it your views, your welfare, your well-being, or the executive position? That is what Bony Khalwale is trying to address here. These people have forgotten what and why they were elected into those positions. Instead, they are now working for William Ruto, but not for you and me. That is what the majority of senators in the Senate are doing, and even in the parliament, members of parliament. So wale wamepigiwa kura in Kenya Kwanza coalition, they're not serving your interest. And sio mwingine amesema haya ni Bony Khalwale, who is also in the majority side, but he has decided that he will serve the Lord by defending the people, but not the executive. I don't know your views, but let us be in the comment section to continue with this discussion. Thank you so much, and see you in our next video.